My name is Will Ortner, and I'm really excited to be applying for your afternoon drive show from 3 to 7 p.m. on KXRX over in the Tri Cities. I'm born and raised in Washington, lived here my whole life. Lived in Vancouver for the first 18 years of my life, and then I went to college out at Central Washington University. Over there, I played football, and I got 2 degrees in broadcast journalism, digital journalism specifically, and in sport management with a focus in sport marketing. My time there over at Central Washington University, I got a chance to work at KCWU. I worked there for about 5 years and some change, maybe a little bit more. And I have never had so much fun in my life, right? Like, I got to go out there, and from the jump, they were letting me on air. I got to do some sports shows, I got to do talk shows, I got to do traditional music shows. I just loved every freaking second of it. I loved the opportunities that I got to do Facebook Live shows, I got to do Instagram Live shows. I got to do shows that were pre-recorded that ended up on Facebook and Instagram. It's just one of the highlights of my college experience and my college time is working at that station. At that station, I developed my first real love and my first real start of a passion for something other than football that I'd had in my life, where I really, really wanted and knew that I was going to be in radio or podcasting in some way. I knew that was the medium I wanted to be in, might have a little bit better of a face and body for radio, not quite the TV, what you'd expect to see on TV, right? And I just loved how much fun I had every day. I was excited to show up to work. I knew that when I showed up to work, people were excited to see me. And I just enjoyed creating content that made people laugh. In my time over at KCWU, I won 3 IBS awards, one for Best Comedy Show, I won one for Best Sports Show, and I won one for Best Spot News Coverage. I was nominated for 5 IBS awards in total in my time over at Central. So not a bad 1 year average for nominations, a little less than every 1 year I was winning an award in my time there. But so I think that shows that I will be successful, and I can be successful in multiple different genres. I'm excited to get back to writing. There was a time at KCWU where I was the head of our podcasts and blogs. So I really enjoyed writing. Of course, I'm going to try to add my own little comedic twist into some of the things where I can, but I also understand that when it needs to be serious and that's the type of writing that you want, if that's what you want, I have no issue doing that as well. So my funny story is I played football at Central. I was a multiple-time all-conference guy. I was a member of the all-decade team over there. So pretty decent player, pretty well respected. We're going into my last game of my senior year. We're in the playoffs. We're playing Northwest Missouri State. It's a big game. Place is pumping. If you know anything about D2 football, they're the Alabama of D2 football. We're playing at their place. And they had these two just gigantic linemen, one who's in the NFL right now, another who's got one more year, and then he'll be in the NFL. And I knew I needed to set a tone. I was one of the old guys. I was kind of the de facto captain of that offensive line unit. So I knew I had to set the tone. So on our second or third drive, I got a chance to go light one of those guys up, and I did, and I body slammed him, and I was on top of him talking all kinds of trash, all kinds of stuff that, we don't need to repeat here, just the heat of the battle, right? And we ended up scoring on that drive, and then as I'm coming off, all their fans are screaming at me, cussing at me, telling me that I'm the worst, how dare I? I'm yelling it back at them, I'm giving it to them, I'm flexing on them, yeah, this is how great I am, look at what I just did. And I sit down, and I take my helmet off, and when I do, kind of, maybe I've made this up in my head, but the entire stadium went silent. And then I just hear one guy out of nowhere go, oh, he's bald. And so then all of a sudden the entire stadium just starts chanting, bald, 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 bald. And I'm over here I'm not that bald, whatever. I've got a little bit of hair, but yeah, I know it's kind of not great in the back, and it is what it is, right? Whatever. but it's really getting under my skin, and I'm getting really, really frustrated. I'm like, man, that's brutal. And every time I'm coming off the sideline after drive after drive, right, I'm just hearing chants of Baldy, Baldy, Baldy. It's like, oh my goodness, guys, leave me alone. And then out of nowhere, I'm sitting and I just hear this lady, shut up! At least he's good enough to play on the field. And I turn around and my mother is going at it with the Northwest Missouri student section. It looked like a battle of 300, except in this case it was 300 Missourians going after my mother. And then I had to yell at her to sit down. I didn't need her to back me up, but it was just one of those things where it's like, when you look back at that last game, like that's my last football game I'm ever gonna play in probably, and we just got absolutely annihilated. I had torn my foot that year, so I was playing through an immense amount of pain. I could barely walk after the game, and I was just like, dang, this all sucks. But there's this funny part where my mom stood up and started yelling at people. So at least I know my family's got my back. But enough about my funny stories. I'm sure you'll hear plenty of them if you guys decide to have me on air. I've got loads and loads and loads. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for hearing me out. If you do end up hiring me, what you're going to get is a person who loves the state of Washington and wants to promote its brand and keep improving national thought on Washington. You're going to get someone that comes in and works his butt off every day, but you're not going to get someone who comes in there and is like a grump to work with. You're going to find someone who wants to and plans on making friends with everyone in the office and making sure, at minimum, there is a respect level there, and that there is a smile and a happy persona that when you show up on a Monday and you're like, it's raining outside, or it's super hot, I want to be at the lake. It's raining, you don't want to be anywhere. You see me, I'm happy to be there, and I'm excited to get to work. And I'm going to work my absolute butt off because I want to grow my brand. I want to grow your brand. And I think it would be a great, great fit. I even have a couple ideas that I think I could throw in, maybe a couple podcast ideas to see if that's what you guys are interested in that field as well. But anyways, I want to say thank you so much for hearing me out. And I can't wait to talk to you in the future.